Hello and good day, Mike Adcock with an update on Tropical Storm Tapah, located east of Guam. This briefing is based on the 9 Zulu Japan Meteorological Agency advisory from the 28th of April. Take a look at satellite imagery. We do see a compact system here with a tightly curved banding starting to wrap into the center of circulation. Very nice core of deep convection developing over that center of circulation. If you notice during the daytime frames there, a little bit of an eye was starting to form. That's now been obscured by this mass of convection. Nonetheless, pretty rapid development over the course of the day, and that has led us to a little bit of a discrepancy between the agencies. Here's the official Japan Meteorological Agency advisory information as of 9 Zulu or 7 p.m. local time. The center of circulation about 290 kilometers east of Guam, or about 275 kilometers to the southeast of Saipan. It is moving off to the north-northeast at 20 kilometers per hour with winds 65 kilometers per hour with gusts up to 95 kilometers per hour. That shakes out to about 40 miles per hour with gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Pressure 1,000 hectopascal. Now I mentioned the discrepancy. JTWC as well as the National Weather Service has sustained winds at 95 kilometers per hour, which is a pretty big jump. I mean, we're talking the difference between just a bare minimum tropical storm and a severe tropical storm. So more on that in the next few slides. Do want to pass on, though, importantly, there is a tropical storm warning in effect for Saipan and Tinian. That means tropical storm force winds are expected in the next 24 hours. There is a typhoon watch also in effect for Almagan and Pagan. Typhoon watch means typhoon force winds are possible within the next 48 hours. All right, take a look at Dvorak. This is where we get into that discrepancy that I mentioned from earlier. As of 6 Zulu, JMA was very conservative with their numbers. Data T of only 1.5, which would resemble about a 46 kilometer per hour storm. They opted to go with a pattern, which was 2.5, model also 2.5, which shakes out to about 65 kilometers per hour, or bare minimum tropical storm. NESDIS and JTWC, on the other hand, saw a convection wrap of about 6/10. That would equate to about 83 kilometers per hour, which gets us a little bit closer to severe tropical storm force. The advanced Dvorak technique, on the other hand, even stronger at 3.3. A 3.3 would equate to about 94 kilometers per hour, about 59 miles per hour, which is very much in line with what JTWC and the National Weather Service is forecasting. I'm going to have to go with NESDIS and JTWC on this one. This is a very rapidly developing system, and I think JMA is a little bit behind on this one, and they'll have to catch up. Looking across the Western Pacific, on the other hand, basically what's going on, we do have this strong low pressure well off to the northeast, cold front associated with that that's kind of broke up a gap in the subtropical ridge. That's allowing Tapah to move off to the north. It's also helping to enhance outflow off to the north as well. Pretty low shear out there right now, about 5 to 10 knots. And really the biggest story is that trough, or that cold front, in the near term anyway. You do see that here on the JMA surface analysis, creating this little bit of a weakness in the subtropical ridge. Now what ends up happening is this cold front moves off to the east. That allows the subtropical ridge to build back in, and that's going to shift Tapah off to the northwest. Now, before we get into the forecast, let's take a quick look at radar. Right now, not a whole lot. The bulk of the system is well off to the east of Guam. What you're seeing here in Guam right now, that's mostly ground clutter, but do have some scattered showers off to the northwest as well as well off to the east. And those showers are going to continue to move in toward the area over the next few days. Here's the official JMA forecast. Right now, their intensity is rather conservative, I believe. 35 knots, bare minimum tropical storm, intensifying very little as it moves off to the northeast, affecting the northern islands of the Marianas. On the other hand, here's the National Weather Service forecast. This is based off of the JTWC forecast, and what you see is, highlighted here in red are typhoon force winds. Now again, I want to re-emphasize there is a tropical storm warning in effect for Saipan and Tinian. Right now you look to be on the edge of this system, but again, tropical storm force winds are anticipated probably on the lower end of the scale. Conversely, though, Almagan and Pagan, you are on the northern edge here. You are most likely right now to see typhoon force winds. It's only a watch at this time. Actually, the forecast typhoon winds split the islands, but we're going to continue to monitor the progress of this system. Again, I do want to emphasize the discrepancy. Right now, the National Weather Service has maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour, and it is continuing to move off to the northeast. They anticipate it to become a typhoon in the next 6 to 12 hours, continuing this trend of rapid development that we've seen here on Monday. National Weather Service will continue to monitor the progress of the system. They're going to be issuing updates every 3 hours, so make sure to check out the advisory packages from the National Weather Service in Guam. Now, I mentioned that it is based on the JTWC forecast. Here is that forecast. Current winds, again, much stronger than what JMA is forecasting or is observing. 95 kilometers per hour sustained with gusts up to 120, and it is expected to continue to intensify up to 130 kilometers per hour with gusts up to 155. Again, short-term northward motion, that subtropical ridge rebuilds in as that cold front moves off to the east. So that's going to help move the system off to the northwest. And then toward the end of the forecast period by midweek, do have another shortwave trough that moves in near Iwo Jima. That's going to help kick this system off to the northeast again. And that's going to help rapidly weaken this system as we get into increasing shear, decreasing outflow, and just generally the water temperatures are a lot cooler in this area, so should rapidly weaken at that point. Unfortunately, looks like it's going to be at its peak as it's crossing the Mariana Islands. Right now, the agencies are all in line pretty much in terms of track. Again, northwestward motion, and then picking up that that shortwave trough, moving it back off to the northeast. The biggest discrepancy is, again, the current intensity. JMA and KMA with being the low liars at 35 knots, whereas JTWC on the high end with 50 knots. Again, that pretty much matches up with the track guidance from earlier today. Taking a look at the intensity guidance. Now, this was from earlier today prior to this system developing an eye, or trying to develop an eye, and some of the recent development with the convection. So I'm going to take this with a grain of salt. There is a lot of discrepancy. I mean, you see anywhere from a tropical depression to a Category 5 in the next 24 hours. So really the models are not going to help us at all in terms of intensity. This is going to be a nowcast type thing where we're going to have to continue to monitor the progress of the system. Don't be caught off guard with this system. Rapid development is very possible with this system. We've seen it throughout the course of Monday. So Tuesday we're going to continue to see that. Again, do not or would not be surprised at all if this becomes a typhoon overnight. Now, taking a look at the JMA pressure and precipitation forecast, notice the bulk of the activity is on the eastern side of this system. That's going to spare the southern islands, so specifically Guam, from this system. Again, it's going to be the northern islands that will really have to focus on this one. I think Saipan and Tinian, I think you're going to be a shade too far south. You may see some gusty winds and some showers with this one, but looks like the bulk of the activity should remain off to the north. In terms of surface observations right now, not much to talk about since the bulk of the convection is near or just to the east of the system due to its compact nature. We will take a look, though, at Guam International real quick. Real nice weather out there, mostly clear skies. Do have winds off to the north at 11 kilometers per hour. Pretty much fair conditions. Pressure at 1,007.8 hectopascal. Keep it tuned to westernpacificweather.com. We're going to continue to monitor this over the next few days. You can also check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And join in on the conversation at storm2k.org. Follow me at Senior Pepper on Twitter to get updates in between videos. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day and take care.